ego damage was done to TL. Then when they got their Kindred the one time and then they lose with it, they're like, okay, fine. I guess we'll just ban it ourselves and we'll just pick the Vi like everybody else.
Never again. But it is crazy to see that Vi has been now up. Now it's been permabanned for a good portion of time, and now we're being able to see it get first pick. Teams are a little bit more comfortable playing it into it. It's going to be really especially good for Team Liquid as a team that prioritizes Ahri. That is the strong combination, Ahri and Vi, so they can now roam to both side lanes. So interested to see what happens here, what Golden Guardian's response is going to be, and if they do go for the Ahri.
I love it. Little shout out to his MSI Rengar pop up there from River. If he wants to go for dueling, it would be Viego. If he wants to go for team fighting, it would be Wukong or Sejuani.
All right, we got the Viego locked in for River.
Nice. All right, a little bit more of the dueling power. I love it because everybody on Viego now plays so aggressively. We've seen a lot of these early invades trying to play off lanes. Plus, Golden Guardian's able to pick up Aphelios off of the back half here and trade for that Vi. And so many AD carries. Stixxay in particular yesterday, he actually won them the game.
Yes.
And sometimes you overemphasize it and you're like, oh, single-handedly won this team fight. But no, he single-handedly won the team fight at Dragon. Ult exploding the entire enemy team and then chasing down both backline members of 100 Thieves himself. So they're very happy to get that Aphelios again.
Which is why it's great to see this game. Both teams came off big wins. Team Liquid versus Cloud9. That game was a huge success, not only because they played a clean front-to-back team fight, but it was Summit that was willing to pick the Ornn.
Yes.
After everyone was talking about how he's like, oh, he is the carry top laner. He cares a lot about the lane. He sacrificed the ego to play an Ornn versus an engaged composition. So that's one thing for Golden Guardians. You're right. Like, Stixxay is just huge these days. And so being able to empower him, play front to back, I think that's important. And it's nice to have him, the Robin, to Gori's Batman.
And I like having Haeri on Ahri. It's a pick that he's incredibly comfortable with, incredibly familiar with, super practiced on. It's one of the better picks in the meta anyway. I see no reason not to do it. Golden Guardians, seeing that Ahri locked in, they're going to lock in the Annie for themselves just to make sure that that pool does not get pinched further in the second half of the bans. So we have mirrored picks drafted on both sides so far with jungler plus mid plus AD carry. So tops and supports are going to be the focus in the second half of the bans.
And Licorice is one of the most dangerous counter-picking top laners. Ever since spring playoffs, they have very effectively utilized their counter picks for Licorice, and they're going to force the blind pick out of Summit first. Raz already mentioned that he's now been willing to just play those tank matchups, so maybe they just blind to tank and allow Licorice to pick whatever he wants into it. Golden Guardians feel he needs a little bit more pushing in that direction. so they're gonna be like, yeah, they're ban out the Jax. Let's really make sure he wants to blind one of those and let Licorice use his counter picks. Like yesterday, we saw the Rumble pick utilized yet again effectively, and there you go.
Not today, we won't.
They also were watching the game, it looks like.
Yep, that's good. It's a good thing to watch the games of the teams you're going to be playing against.
Smart. Great strategy. But one thing I wanted to point it out for Golden Guardian side, yes, I think that last game that they had, important to talk about their Drake setup. I'm interested to see how they respond to the Vi, because at least from that perspective, they're going to be getting dove in on. So anything to kite back within the comp that they had and at least provide some protection for Aphelios, I think is important.
Yeah, Vi Ahri is the bread and butter of Team Liquid.
Yes.
This is their most utilized strategy. This combination 3 times in a row, always trying to get it, not only because it's very strong in the meta right now in picking off either mid lane or enemy jungle and winning those 2v2s post level 6, but also because, as Flower said, it is Haeri's favorite and most comfortable champion.
Yep.
So I'm definitely looking at that mid lane because I always actually like the Annie side where you're just dropping Tibbers over and over to get the lane push and look to get some extra control yourself. I think a lot of the game is going to hinge on that as we will finally get our reveal here. Between CoreJJ and Huhi, these are the 2 most enthusiastic Rell players, and Golden Guardians will be the ones to just grab that first.
Rell was the champion I was thinking about the entire second half of the ban phase, looking at this, expecting either one of these teams to be happy to snatch that one up. It's such a good engage mechanism. It's so powerful right
And since both of them love this champ so much and both of them play so much of it, they both are ready, or I would think are both ready to be able to play around it as well. Alistar is one of the ones that you see very, very prolifically because you can have those combo breakers with your knockups, but he goes for the Renata instead. That kind of counter engage with the ultimate Even though Rell is so good at getting the snap engages, if you're able to ward the Rell out and track her and get that Renata ultimate off as they come in for the engage, that can be the entire turning of a team fight.
I've been loving the Renata picks that CoreJJ has been going towards. There's 2 games in a row where he identifies what Golden Guardians, or at least last time it was Cloud9, are trying to do, trying to dive into them. In this case, it's the Rell and Viego that want to be able to do something, and I think he does a great job. So this is going to be a nice look here for Team Liquid.
Yeah, pretty much everybody's been diving recently.
Yes.
Most team comps do have an element.
So, the Ksante was left open despite the fact that we had plenty of top lane focus in the second half of the ban phase. They're going to lock that one in for Summit. But when you didn't focus any of those Ksante-specific counter picks, things like, you know, the Gwen, like the Fiora, things can get a little dicey. But instead, Golden Guardians are just going to take another tank into it. They're picking the Poppy. This can be very good for stopping the dashes of the Ksante, the Vi, the Ahri. It doesn't do anything against Varus and Renata. But the first 3, Steadfast Presence, you can get a lot of value.
We're starting to see a lot more Poppy here, Kobe. We saw it just yesterday on Impact. We've seen it for a while in the LPL and LCK. This is a great Poppy pick. There's quite a few dashes. Of course, we see it from Vi, Ahri, if there's ever a roam topside, Ahri, of course, Ksante. I love it. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I've been a big proponent of it as a flex pick. You know, this one is picked last and in counter pick into the Ksante matchup where you had that buff to the percentage health damage of the Q for Poppy, and that's what he's going to try and utilize. But I really do think it is also a very good early pick to be able to flex to jungle and utilize as another one of those, gains you a little bit of extra leverage. In this one too, it also provides you so much around the early Rift Herald fights. And in the current state of the game, early Rift Herald fights sometimes will just win you an entire game.
Yes.
So getting a good Poppy ultimate around one of these and be able to win that and start to snowball money can be super, super effective.
All right, Raz, I'm going to put you on the spot here.
All right.
Who do you think won the draft?
Whew. I'm a Renata fan. I think Team Liquid's got this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kobe, you agree, or?
Honestly, I'm going to take the other side of it.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
going Golden Guardians here. After seeing Stixxay yesterday on the Aphelios, I have confidence in him, and I feel like when you have confidence in Stixxay, he has been probably the weakest performing player on the team, but if he's playing well like he did yesterday, then there's not really going to be a weakness here.
All right, we'll see if he can step up. Everything's pretty much to expectation here as we start off at level 1. No crazy invades, teleports on all of our solo laners. No summoner spellbooks this time around for anybody. There is cleanse on both of the AD carries, respecting the CC available from both sides here. CoreJJ going for the heal on the Renata, while Huhi does have the ignite on Rell. Always love to see this champion roaming. Always love to see him bringing that extra little bit of firepower to guarantee they can get those early kills when they try to make those rotations.
Yeah, an eye that I have right now is going to be on Haeri. You mentioned it, Kobe, a little earlier. Yes, that Ahri is his favorite pick. Gotta see, though, what the level 1's brewing.
A little bit of trading here. Fortunately for Team Liquid, the trading actually happens at a time where it's not good to go back and try to heal that off, so Gori's going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage there in the lane.
Yeah, I absolutely love these defense plays on red buff to try and clear the Raptor ward for your jungler like that. Not only do you get a little chunk onto Gori as he comes in, but they also get to clear the early ward here for Pyosik, for their Vi, and get the first kill for it onto Yeon for bottom side. They get back down to the bottom side a little bit long on the route, but don't miss out on anything.
So that's a positive for me. The thing that I was going to mention as Stixxay is getting chunked down.
Oof. And you see, it's all about positioning here. Wow, they gave up the brush positioning to Huhi on the bottom side for Rell, so he can always look for that and try and get the snap engages. If you have CoreJJ and Yeon move both up into range on Stixxay, they got a huge trade, and now they get the early...
CoreJJ just flashing forward there past the crash down of Huhi. They're going to trade that flash for that of Stixxay. So 1 for 1 there, but with that enemy AD carry who has no mobility, now also having no flash. Huhi with a flash engage coming out there for that instant over-the-shoulder toss. The Golden Guardians won't get anything else off the back of it.
And guess what? Whose jungler is pathing down here? Whoever's jungler is pathing down to bottom side, spoiler, it's Pyosik, is going to have the advantage when everybody is playing so aggressively here. And into the Rell, they're trying to actually punish the Rell pick, knowing that Huhi wants to keep going for those engages. Vi is going to take a long route here into the blue buff while River is going to pass through mid. So they blow the flash on Haeri.
Yep, Gori with a follow-up flash, River with a follow-up flash into the Spectral Maw, the stuns stack, and Haeri falls its first blood back over to River.
And now Pyosik is left in here counter jungling, watching as his mid laner gets double flashed on and dies. He's got the ward onto River. Can he Q?
Yes, he can. There it is. Quick burst of damage onto River, who, remember, has no flash. He had to use it to secure the kill, but nobody else from Team Liquid is close by, so he's gonna wait.
I give a little credit to Stixxay and Huhi in the bottom lane, trading right back, because I think the initial intention was what they saw in the Cloud9 game. Trade heavily, burn flash, look for a dive alongside Pyosik. That angle wasn't there, and I think Stixxay and Huhi were playing well around it. So then, yeah, you go in for the counter jungle and find the next best thing, and immediately gives an opportunity for River to find that mid lane gank.
Yep. All was going according to plan for Team Liquid. You know, aggressive bottom lane, Yeon and CoreJJ positioning up on enemy AD carry, getting those chunks and trying to get that early back for themselves. But like you said, River upsets the whole game plan.
Yeah.
The double flash, the confidence here, Gori and River, this duo has done so much for Golden Guardians, and them getting the double flash kill onto the mid laner, and then sniffing out Pyosik there completely puts that TL plan to a halt. And River's back at it again. Hovers up on top side to see how the tanks are doing. Checks in on the kids.
Let's go ahead and see what might be going on. If Licorice could get an angle to maybe slam Summit into the wall, but Summit's not going to give him that angle too easily. Licorice just going to go ahead, throw down another one of those Qs. River doesn't want to waste too much time up here, so he'll go ahead and just channel that first recall, grab his items, head back to base, start pathing through those camps again.
Yeah, bit of a sideline reporter. Seeing if he could do anything top lane just wasn't an option. But I think, yes, focus is still towards bot lane. At the end of the day, no flashes on either support makes it easy. The harder one, I would say, is in Golden Guardian side, simply because Stixxay has to burn flash for his own, so that is a bit of a worry point. So if you're Pyosik, you're looking for a point of the map to attack, Dragon's up, you're getting bot lane push, that's where you want to go.
I think Pyosik just go for his base right now, try and get even on items, and then come down to red quadrant, see if they can get any sort of counter plays here, because Rell will constantly be using that Hex Flash to look for those aggressive stuns. Here he gets pushed right back out, and some good chunk damage. CoreJJ landing the handshake here onto Stixxay. He's got no sustain left.
And remember, it was CoreJJ with those handshakes on the Renata pick that was such a thorn in the side for Cloud9 yesterday. That's how they smacked Berserker and Sven around and made them so mad that they came in today and did what they did to EG.
Oh,
so
man.
CoreJJ has shown he knows how to run the lane here with this champion, and him and Yeon are having a great time in bottom lane so far. Pyosik disengaging from where that dragon spawned. He did not want anything to do with the fight against River.
Yeah, because his mid laner had to go all the way back to base, and so the threat of getting trapped in there is a little bit scary. So he has to exit as he's been found and can return now that Haeri is back from base. Always make sure your mid laner is there first before you go for an objective, and this is the Annie trade. You drop your Tibbers, you push out the wave. This is right after Haeri just got back from base, so Gori's immediately going to retake push on this wave and try and get some sort of movement here for them. TL, though, they return to that dragon after Haeri gets back and pick it up eventually, so Pyosik right back on track.
And it is worth pointing out, it's Ahri, Annie, so you're not going to also be mining money the whole time that you're dropping these Tibbers on down if you're just going to be doing that with like the first strike build. So not quite the min-max version of the drop Tibbers on CD, but you can see right there on your screen how much of a pain in the butt it is to try to clear the thing away. It gives the Annie so much pressure, so much push, so much control.
Yeah, I mean, he just came back from base, and guess what? All your potion charges are gone here, have been burned. Let's see about the trade up here. They've got full control of this quadrant, but Haeri going for it. Misses the charm. Nice little sidestep from Gori, trying to bait him into the fog of war, but Haeri's not going to take it.
Yeah, Haeri missing the charm there pretty much means the play is over. You know you're not going to be able to chase the guy down very effectively, and he's got to have help nearby if he's running up into the brush like that.
Yeah, and I don't think you lose too much here. All eyes are going to be on the next Rift Herald. Bot lane from TL is going to be pushing first, so it seems actually it's going to be Stixxay, but he does need a base off here, so that's going to be the trade. But for both mid laners, they're going to want to base and come back for Herald, so I expect Team Liquid to try and at least keep their bot lane here and react if they can buy enough time. That's what I'm expecting.
Stixxay still hanging around, even though Huhi went ahead and recalled. Has the fully constructed Ionian Boots of Lucidity now to give him the extra cooldown and move speed that could be the difference between finding that engage or not. Remember, so many of these fights around Heralds or Drakes or just any of the neutral objectives can really be decided by a proper Rell engage, just finding that perfect moment, finding multiple targets. The champion is so powerful in these skirmishes and team fights, and Huhi's the exact kind of player to be able to identify when that time to go in is.
Well, and Pyosik going to use the little abuse case for vision here. You hug this wall, you can get in even when Scuttle Crab is there, and your opponents will have a false sense of confidence. Looks like he gets a little scared, wants to pull it further out. It's on the end of its patience range, though. You have to be careful.
And you can see there's even a CoreJJ hanging out there in the pixel brush, just making sure that nobody's approaching, even though they did avoid the vision. So Team Liquid, heist successful. They will sneak this one away, and Golden Guardians are none the wiser.
Yeah.
It's just been so impressive to see Team Liquid play around objectives the past few games now, weeks now. Even getting pushed off initially off of Dragon, they recognized that they had bot push and that they can continue to play for it. So it's been nice to see the vision play that they had here, how well CoreJJ is rotating alongside Pyosik, something that we didn't see last split. It was pretty hectic, but it's a nice change.
Gori again, just dropping that Tibbers on Haeri, taking control over the lane. Huhi was seeing if maybe there was a chance to try to follow it up, and even if you try to go in, flash into the crash down, the cast time is going to allow Haeri to get away with a Spirit Rush, so you don't want to commit those resources. Summit, meanwhile, having push up here in the top side, you can see about a one-wave lead for him once Licorice farms up these minions that are about to crash into the turret, but let's see if we can get a play mid now. Gori's still just fine. Using Tibbers as a mobile ward off to the side to make sure that he will not be ganked as he comes the wave.
That's a weird looking ward skin.
Yeah, that's a big old ward skin. Super control ward Tibbers.
It's got hands.
My ward smacks you around. Get back in the chicken pit.
That's definitely a pay-to-win ward.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Why is this ward burning me?
All right, now that the evil ward is gone, Haeri can go back into the mid lane and continue farming against his opponent. But Huhi and River still both hanging around here, just making sure Gori can get this shoved out and get himself a safe reset, or just join up with the rest of these guys as they're roaming potentially somewhere else.
Yeah, and right now, if you're River, he's done a great job of being able to trade on the side of the map that Pyosik is not playing for. The Rift Trail is the only aberration because they didn't have any vision there. I'm still worried about bot side just a little bit. The slow push that's going to be coming towards him. Stixxay does need support here. And a lot of the times when you are this far behind, as an example of last game, like, you just need to hover bot side of the map so they don't get dove. At least this time around, they'll have TP for it, so they don't need to respect it as much as they did the last time when CoreJJ was rounding around their bot lane turret. So look at the setup here.
Yeah, it's going to be dangerous for Golden Guardians if they try and force something and bring River down. Renata's so good in counter-engaged scenarios here, and they're working up a wave. Pyosik trying to trail here just in case there was a Viego gank coming. And here comes River. Got to be a little careful for this. Team Liquid setting up for it.
Huhi may look over the wall here. Pyosik now going to put himself in position just in case the Golden Guardians go after Yeon, but Golden Guardians don't want to go for it. They know that there is a very high possibility that Pyosik is here and Team Liquid is trying to bait this out. So instead, they're just going to play it cool. Allow this wave to continue to crash into the turret. Let Stixxay farm up under there. Not force out a play. Worth pointing out, Pyosik only level 7, River level 8. So there is a +1 advantage there in the jungle for the Golden Guardians. But Team Liquid having plenty of firepower down here. They've got everybody full HP. They've got Haeri ready to participate in the fight as well. But Gori's got his cooldown back up on the Tibbers.
Watch Varus ult.
River coming in, but he ain't gonna find anything. Gori with a flash engage. Yeon having a flash away, but now a lot of damage on the Pyosik. Instead, the Magnet Storm counterattack comes out, and the Golden Guardians are in some trouble. Over Deception finds the first kill. Pyosik drops. It'll be a 1-for-1 there so far, as River kills off Pyosik, and now looks to see if there's anything else to find. Stixxay, Moonlight Vigil over the wall. It targets Yeon, but not enough to grab the damage. Summit's joined the fight, and he's looking for River and Gori both, but now Licorice is here, so he won't be able to get anything. Just a 1-for-1 when the dust settles, but Team Liquid also gets the Drake.
Yep, positive for Team Liquid, and they end up forcing teleports too. Summit teleports first, and then as he's about to make the catch, they also channel Licorice teleport. Both top laners coming down to visit, so Team Liquid, they accomplished their goals still.
Yeah, and a lot of it was, even though our eyes were on the bot side of the map, it was waiting on the push from Haeri. Both mid laners needed the base. Huhi is looking for an angle mid, though.
Oh, River and Huhi looking for Haeri here. They know the Ahri does not have the ult. So by finding that CC, they force out the flash, maybe get themselves an opening here in the next 5 minutes to revisit this Ahri.
Yeah, Golden Guardians, they tried to start it out with the flash from Gori to get the combo onto Yeon. He stays cool, he cleanses, he walks it out, he turns around, throws the Varus ultimate, allowing them to get the dragon, get the 1-for-1.
Exactly.
And then it's just a full reset.
I thought the setup was great. As I mentioned, the push was perfect. And then your eyes are on Yeon here, who cleanse flashes instantly. Had he had been comboed off of that stun, as you'll see very soon, that would have been a problem. Yep. That actually would have been a Golden Guardians win off the team fight, but his ability to react as soon as he could won them that fight.
Yep, and then the hostile takeover from CoreJJ, that counter engage there allows them the space to run. Haeri goes in, he makes sure they at least get their 1 kill onto the Rell, evening up that gold. As Pyosik up on the top side was taken down by Golden Guardians, River getting the reset on Viego and threatening the chase.
So speaking of topside, we've got all this craziness going on down here in the bottom half of the map. Absolutely nothing has occurred up here. They both have around the same amount of farm and a Sunfire Cape.
That's why they went to go play at the end of the Dragon Breath. They're like, yo, I heard there's some action going on down here. Meanwhile,
oh, we got some action, all right. Stixxay forced to flash away there as Yeon catches him out with a Chains of Corruption and nearly kills him off.
They don't want to be here for too long, though, with the whole goon squad here to support Stixxay. It's like, you can't touch our man.
Well, all right, they're going to get out. They're away from it. No more worries down there. But Gori has the Tibbers, and if you're Haeri, you know what that means. He's about to cast Tibbers, but Pyosik ready to come in instead. They engage with a Vi ulti into the Ahri charm. A little bit more damage, follows through with a Spirit Rush, and Haeri gets the kill.
Vi Ahri, most played combination on Team Liquid. Pulls it off again from behind the Raptor Pit, the most annoying one. CoreJJ now gets caught by River, little handshake and walk it back into his own territory here. The waiting arms of Pyosik.
Yep, Pyosik being there for the backup means that CoreJJ will be okay, but River is not willing to just walk away from this one. He wants to try to get something out of this invade.
Pyosik has smite, River does not.
Yeah, that's a freebie.
Unfortunate.
It was a bluff.
Yeah.
Trying to stare at him angrily.
He didn't actually want that red buff anyway.
Okay, he wanted Krugs.
Yeah, he just wanted to see
the real prize.
He just wanted to see how slow Pyosik took it because he knows he takes him faster. Meanwhile, now they're looking for the play. Haeri is in a rough spot. He already used the ulti back in mid. However, CoreJJ turns it around. Team Liquid baits him and outsmarts him.
Your Renata looking pretty good, Raz. The Renata looking pretty good. Saves Haeri. He's got a 300 gold bounty as well after the kill, after the revival here. And meanwhile, they know the jungler's on bottom side. Pyosik, free take on Rift Herald number 2. All of the neutral objectives this whole game. Team Liquid, Team Liquid, Team Liquid.
Yes, perfect timing. We've talked about perfect timing from Pyosik and how he was able to play out this game, but perfect timing from CoreJJ. Recognizing, yes, even though we're able to take red, we're being pushed out of a red side jungle, and Haeri's going to be the one that takes the front if he wants to be able to walk back to his lane. Comes in at an excellent time, saves him.
And it's all about communication here. Even though Haeri is getting a little bit dangerous poking around, they knew they were here, and they have CoreJJ walking down lane. The timing you're talking about, oh yes. My goodness.
Clutch.
Perfect.
And that's what you expect from CoreJJ, honestly. Anytime people talk about him, it's him being able to rotate at the right time. The summit piece that we saw, the fact that he expected, hey, CoreJJ roams top lane. No, he just, if there's a moment, if he hears top lane dive, he'll be there. If he hears, I'm going to get dove, he's there as well.
And it's such a Renata unique interaction. Most other champions are not just going to be able to save the guy like that from what should be a sure thing. You're looking at the entire roster of 160 champions, you think like, okay, maybe Zillion, okay, maybe Kale.
Support Kale,
yeah. Support Kale, sure. People play that, but no, CoreJJ just showing up, turning around what looked like such a good opportunity to get a shutdown, and now Team Liquid, they're up over 1,000 gold, they're up 2 Drakes, they're looking for that soul point here nice and early, just about 17 minutes into the game. River does not want to give it away for free. Licorice and Stixxay are not grouped up with the rest of Golden Guardians. Meanwhile, Haeri taking a little bit of damage over the wall here. Nice use of the Everfrost to lock down River. They want to make this fight happen. They go all out. A little bit more damage is going to finish off the enemy jungler, but now Haeri's going to be picked off instead. Stixxay grabbing the kill and River stays alive. Now they're going to turn it right back on Pyosik. Team Liquid is washed away, and the Golden Guardians just flushed them.
That was so nasty from Golden Guardians. Team Liquid, they got dizzy. They didn't even know where they were. They made the call here. You have Summit ulting and keeping River out of the dragon, but Pyosik wasn't even finishing the dragon. So they're fighting down one member. Pyosik is standing in there. The dragon's not getting burned down, so they're not getting the objective, and they're losing the team fight at the same time. look at this, over the wall, River and Huhi are poking around at Haeri, and you think, okay, so I guess the call here is have Haeri and Summit keep River out while we burn down the rest of this dragon. But Pyosik goes into it while Licorice is dealing with the backline here. The double Annie stun onto them, forcing them out. And then Pyosik comes to join after they've already been outnumbered and lost both sides of the team fight, leaving the dragon there with under 2k HP at the end, and the final chase down from Licorice. He wasn't far enough along on the blast cone, and he gets charged.
Big thing in that fight in the bottom half, you saw the red line drawn from Pyosik's Vi to River, interrupted by him waiting and then possessing the body until he knew exactly when he was going to die. Perfect aggro drop coming out from this Viego that is now 4-0-1, coming up huge.
It was big. And even just looking at Gori's positioning and the decision that he made, there were two separate fights that were happening. He decided that it was far more valuable to just walk up to Yeon and CoreJJ that was isolating Licorice. Licorice was like, okay, I'm being pinned, I can't end up joining the fight. He even used his ulti and missed CoreJJ, but then in comes Gori, ends up pushing Yeon out of the fight. He had no ability to impact it.
Yep, both sides of the fight here won by Golden Guardians, while Team Liquid looked a little confused there inside on the dragon. And that is going to go a long, long way in getting Golden Guardians right back into this one. They stop the dragon stacking. They get a huge gold lead to work with now. This is Golden Guardians territory.
We talk about swings in League of Legends. Well, that was the whole damn playground, boys.
Yep.
Team Liquid thought that they were running the show, and now Golden Guardians have completely suplexed that game stage. And they are just thoroughly in the driver's seat.
And River is the big kid on the playground.
Gori, though, might be in a little bit of trouble here. There's that Vi Ahri wombo combo, but Gori can walk it off, and River comes over the wall with a heartbreaker playmaker. Let's see if they can get what they need here onto Haeri and Pyosik. Haeri with a flashback out. Summit's ready to join. Pathmaker to lead the way, all out to keep it going. But now Huhi's ready for the counter engage. Magnet Storm won't do it, and Yeon picks up the kill. It's a 1-for-0 from Team Liquid, but Licorice is still seeing if there's anything else to find. He won't be able to catch up just yet. Tries to keep closing the gap. There is no turret here for TL, but Stixxay can't get anywhere near the fight in time, so just that one kill going TL's way.
One kill, but on the same page. Initially, it was Golden Guardians turning the play on Team Liquid, but being able to see that Summit TP in no man's land, being able to double down and to protect them in that moment, I thought was pivotal. So great TP coming in, and as a Team Liquid, coordinating well.
Yes, sir. Easy to coordinate, a Vi Ahri. They go back to their bread and butter, their combo here. They go into the brush, then they have the rest of the team coming, teleport while CoreJJ as well as Yeon are heading down, and with that numbers collapse, now Haeri under attack, but he's got the beautiful blast cone there to safety.
Yeah, the Vi Ahri worked out because it can't fail because Vi's ulti is point and click. But they did miss the Vault Breaker, and the charm hit as Vi's ulti was also happening, so the CC wasn't even layered to the max. I have to wonder if they played that a little bit better, if they could have got that initial pick onto Gori too.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the Vi Ahri didn't really win at them. It was bringing the whole team.
Yeah,
and
just bring the boys.
The entire team getting there first is the win.
Golden Guardians looking to push Team Liquid back into their own blue side jungle. We are now 20 minutes into the game. This game feels so much slower than the last one because this is a real game of League of Legends, and the previous one was a speedrun any percent. So it doesn't feel nearly as accelerated. Baron is up on the table. 2,000 gold lead still for the Golden Guardians. Second items coming online in a couple of different places here. You can see top lane, the Jack Show completed for Licorice's Poppy. Meanwhile, in the AD carry position, Yeon having that Nashor's Tooth for a little bit more of the DPS on the AP Varus. Summit making it so there's 2 turrets collected here for the side of Team Liquid.
There it is. And for me, biggest challenge this stage of the game, when Golden Guardians were facing 100 Thieves, Gori got picked off quite a bit actually on sides in the mid game. That was actually one aberration that I saw. I was like, if you pick up on that, if either Huhi and River actually respond a little earlier so you don't get dove, or you just back away from the turret when they're looking to dive you a little bit better, then of course they would be able to accelerate the lead. They were losing that lead in that game, where in this game it feels like they're a lot more on the same page, and here's the fight.
Yeah, Haeri using the Everfrost, locking down River and Stixxay both, but he immediately loses 2/3 HP and has to retreat. Not a good way to continue a fight for Team Liquid, so they're going to make sure that they don't have to.
Yeah, Golden Guardians win this dragon by getting mid-prio first, while the entire team of Team Liquid are going towards Baron. And TL, they return to the Baron to at least get vision while they give up this objective.
And when you have White Gun Aphelios, the Chakrams just make it so easy to take down that Drake fast and clean just as a solo player. So no need for the rest of the Golden Guardians to be there when they know that Team Liquid is up around that Baron side instead. Drake's tied up 2-2 now.
This is why so many teams have a really high priority. Getting the mid-wave push allows them that extra little chunk of damage as TL are trying to rotate over, and that chunk gives them the priority to move on down to Dragon. Now they even it up 2-2. They've got the extra health regeneration here, stacking up these Ocean Dragons. And we can now turn our sights towards the top half of the map where TL did, in exchange, get full control ward coverage.
Okay,
Not enough, though.
Could be in some trouble here. Flash engage coming out with a Tivers from Gori. River's ready to follow it up. Haeri already used all 3 charges of the Spirit Rush, so he'll get away.
And good charm from Haeri there, right in the face of River, allows him to get out, doesn't allow the follow-up there from Golden Guardian, so he escapes with everything necessary. And Gori invested the flash, that Annie flash, not going to be ready for the big team fight.
So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I remember in an interview with Haeri, he was talking about how his role a lot of the time is absorbing pressure. Seeing a lot of that, it's easy to do that when you're playing Ahri, but also just when you know you're on weak side and what you know is expected of you. And that's something that has been important for him thus far this split, and he's been doing a great job with it.
What do we want to see next here from Team Liquid, considering they were ahead by a decent margin, and now Golden Guardians have been in the gold lead for 5 minutes or so? How does TL get back in the driver's seat?
Try and defend a little bit of the positioning here versus Golden Guardians. For one, CoreJJ trying to stand their ground inside their own jungle. Does get the interrupt here.
Also something worth mentioning, poke. Yeon's got the build that Stixxay has been really abusing for the last few games now on the Varus pick. It's a lot of poke that you're able to now put down on Annie and Aphelios. So if you're able to get any of that off, great. Otherwise, I'm just letting him farm. We're just basically defending the wards that we know we can defend in our own jungle, being able to contest mid lane and bot lane push, and just waiting for an opportunity.
Yeah, trying to use that Fog of War, move around any sort of vision that you have so you can get a Vi Ahri play. This is the investment in draft, all about these 2 champions. The go-to game plan for Team Liquid. Try and make a pick. These 2 champs together can definitely make it happen. Currently, they're looking towards the top side, but they know that at least Ahri is here. Pyosik's been waiting in the brush for such a long time.
Oh, there it is, the flash vault breaker. Gori's gonna try to get out, but no, sir. They layer the CC correctly this time, and TL finds their man. Now Licorice wants to swoop in to try to get some sort of a counterplay. He slams the enemy mid laner back into the wall, but he's still 1v3. River and Stixxay nearby, but not in range to help. So TL's gonna get in, get out, and get it done.
Patience pays off. Just keep camping brush with Vi Ahri. They find a pickup. Another one with the Varus ult.
Oh, man, the chains of corruption in the handshake. Get over here. Yeon gets the kill. Huhi dropped. And now Team Liquid has a 5v3 for the next 15 seconds. They're on to the Baron.
Okay, the only thing Golden Guardians have to work around now is the Renata ultimate. At least the big pick potential isn't there. Charm does miss. Maybe go.
All right, they knocked Summit out. That's huge. That's the frontliner. Now they're ready to go in. There comes the hostile takeover. It hits River, but he disengages with a Heartbreaker. Golden Guardians' plan here was to stop the Baron, and they've done that. They're going to commit a TP. They throw out the Moonlight Vigil, but it's not going to get much. River after Summit now, who went all out as an escape mechanism. He will get out.
Yeah, good confidence there. They know everything was just used for the turn off of Baron. The Vi and the Ahri just used everything in the top side to get that pick, and then Varus Ultimate got them another pick. So Golden Guardians know the only threat they have to work around in stopping that Baron was Renata ult. They do disengage. Now they're starting up the Baron themselves. Teleport comes out. It's going to be contested.
Okay, Haeri's ready to join up. Smite available for both of the junglers here, but the Baron is already pretty low, down to about 3k. Golden Guardians stopping the DPS, turning back onto Haeri instead. Spectral Maul's not going to find him. CoreJJ might just be killed first. Licorice goes over as the Baron is taken by the Golden Guardians. They've already killed off CoreJJ. They're about to find a second on Pyosik. Golden Guardians absolutely rock the fight.
Beautiful job playing around cooldowns for the Golden Guardians. And Ksante.
They aren't done just yet. Summit gonna get dived on by 3. They've got the damage of River and Licorice here. It's not quite enough to bring him down just yet. Heartbreaker doesn't find a target, and that means Summit and Haeri both stay alive. Nice counterattack! Summit grabs a kill on the enemy support as River and Licorice have to retreat. Stixxay and Gori ready to join up here. Long range Q from the Aphelios, but Summit will not fall.
Yeah, he's back to a tank now. Yeon is done. How many times have we seen attempted picks on Ksante turned around for another kill? Regardless of that aftermath, though, Golden Guardians still such a good job playing around those cooldowns. Not only stopping Baron, but then restarting it themselves, burning it down with the red-white gun from Stixxay to be able to get it, and now trying to get here in time to contest Dragon.
Yeah, Yeon wanted to start this up. The Varus does a lot of burst to these things, but Licorice and River have made their way in. Pyosik's here ready to potentially smite fight for this. Both teams already at 2 Drakes. Chains of Corruption fly out, but they ain't gonna find anything. Pyosik goes in, looking for Stixxay there in the back line as Gori keeps CoreJJ away. Pyosik and Haeri find the kill at a Stixxay, but it's already gonna be traded back to the enemy jungler. River is unstoppable. Summon is isolated behind enemy lines. He might be Ksante, but he ain't invincible. Gori picks up the second kill of the fight for the Guardians. They end up coming out on top 2-1, plus the Drake. River's not done yet either. Seeing if he might be able to chase Core, but a nice handshake stops it.
What a high-level game this one is. That Pyosik was sitting in the bush. Really no expectation that he was in there. Can Haeri get out?
Haeri trying to get out of this one, but the Heartbreaker does not find him, so he escapes the slow. River, I believe, still had the Spectral Maul ready for the point-blank stun on top of it if he was able to slow that Ahri down. The Golden Guardians just continuing the pressure here in the bottom lane now. They still have the Baron.
Yeah, I feel like Golden Guardians have been on point last 10 minutes. Taking a look to see if they can get out of this one. But yes, that Baron play was important because Team Liquid was hard forcing the play. But then it was just Licorice that went in, knew that he can get out of that situation. So he ended up burning Renata ulti, buying enough time, crucially, for Gori to get back into the fight with TP. So if they had made a single mistake, if someone else that wasn't Poppy basically pressured and was walked in to the Renata ulti, then it would have been problematic. But I thought that was great. But of course, we have to talk about the Dragon play.
All right, so they charge them, they see them, and the damage here is enough. River's able to get the combo, and then he's got a stopwatch as well. So the focus initially from Team Liquid is good onto the Aphelios. They end up getting Aphelios down after Vi ultimate into Renata ultimate, catching him at the very tip. But they've sustained too many losses in the way getting there. You know, Varus, you could see, was on red buff, and everybody was trying to get to the Dragon. They were initially trying to scramble for it, didn't have all the members there, and so Golden Guardians will still get the extra kills on top of the Dragon, and they've worked themselves all the way up to Soul Point. After the early domination from Team Liquid, Golden Guardians have done such a good job with their comeback.
And you can honestly look at the Drake symbols on the top part of the screen and interpret them as hieroglyphics telling the story of the game. It was controlling the map for the first 2 Drakes worth of time for Team Liquid. They were the ones who had all of the priority, all of the decision making, but then boom, 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 1, 2, 3 oceans ever since then. Golden Guardians have come back into the game and maintained control since.
Yeah, the 2 Dragons and the first 2 Rift Heralds as well. But when the pick comp here expend so many of their cooldowns in trying to actually make that happen and then overreach just a little bit. Golden Guardians chose their moments so wisely and able to snowball a lot off of the Baron stop into Baron take themselves. Now, they've got the stand-up fight and a Pyosik right in front of them.
Oh, no, dude. Pyosik wanted a false break away, but then Poppy just breaks his spine, slams him into the wall.
Caught with your hands up.
He was behind enemy lines, all right. Not going to be able to get himself out. And Golden Guardians, after that, easy siege for them. They've already got such a good spot in the stand-up fight, the 5-on-5.
Vi Ahri to kill the carry doesn't work if Vi's dead.
Yeah.
That's a problem here for the side of Team Liquid, who have now been knocked away by the Keeper's verdict. But there is no minion wave because the Baron is not active on Golden Guardians any longer. It makes it that much harder to try to push into the base. So unfortunately for them, despite the fact that they got that free kill on Pyosik, it won't lead to much more.
Yep, TL can defend until their jungler is back and alive. Now it does get a little dicey trying to retake. You have to be a little bit cautious when re-entering your own jungle. Try and clear out all the wards here. So TL, they group up during the bases of Golden Guardians and retake their own territory.
It's going to be really tough for Team Liquid to get back into this one. Their playmaking tools, of course, is still Ahri and Vi, but now anytime Vi is trying to go in, you have to get past the Annie stun, you have to get past Renata, and of course Poppy. And Poppy has been nailing him, it feels like, the last few times. So I'm trying to find an angle, and it feels like there is none.
They can get a pick, maybe.
They're looking for it now, but the Golden Guardians have already found the back line. Yeon tries to flash away to stay alive. Meanwhile, Pyosik and Haeri looking for the kill onto Stixxay, who kites him out of the turret. Shut down over to Licorice. Stixxay outplays in the 1v2. Summit now isolated. River is dominating. Ksante is gone, and Pyosik's about to be mopped up next. He tries to get out. He's going to walk away. He escapes Stixxay, but now CoreJJ stuck in supportal combat against Huhi. He's just going to get poked at that damn thing. Poke, poke.
Supportal combat!
Oh, and then he flashes over the wall once the crash down goes.
Baron's helping!
Guardians are pushing for the end of the game. CoreJJ falls thanks to Huhi and Baron, and Golden Guardians are on the victory march. Pyosik might have escaped the slaughter at the battle, but he'll die right after. It's an ace for Gori. It's a team fight and game win for the Golden Guardians, and they'll take down TL.
And another 2v1 for Stixxay. I told you, man, Stixxay's Aphelios is hot right now. 2v1 yesterday. He 2v1's the attempted dive on him in the game-breaking attempt on a pick there, too. Absolute nasty stuff.
What is this man eating in the morning? What is his routine? What is he drinking? This week has been insane for him. He's been on point, you're right.